And we are back, and we just finished watching 1993's Groundhog Day, rated PG with a runtime of 1 hour and 41 minutes. This is currently streaming on Netflix. We didn't actually plan this correctly because this is going to be Father's Day weekend, but I mean, as a dad,
I feel like fathers are related to groundhogs somehow.
Well, I guess as a dad, you can relate to the whole feeling like you're in a time loop experience.
Why is that just exclusive to fathers?
I think that's more of being a parent, because a lot of times when you're a parent, you have to explain things over and over again and over again and over
Not
again.
just being a parent.
Especially when you're not. I'm not saying you kids are like this now, for the most part, but when you were much younger, there was a lot of repetition of okay, you don't do this because of this. You don't do this because of this.
What about teachers?
I'm sure teachers got to deal with that too. Yeah,
I'm sure they feel like they're groundhog every day.
Any time you're dealing with very young kids, there's a lot of.
And my teachers, they have to deal with all new kinds of crap each and every day. Like this one kid hit this other kid, so they had to lecture us about keep our hands to ourselves.
Okay, so I'm not condoning the child's behavior, but why do they do that? Like, why do they have to talk to the whole class? Because it's like, it's obviously a specific child has done this. Like, I've always hated that. Like, when you get looped in for something that had nothing to do with you.
Usually they'll be like sorry for the kids who are actually behaving. But when it's young kids hitting each other, if they don't lecture the whole class, some kids might think they're exempt from it.
But I mean, Olive isn't really, that's not really, 5th grade is not a young group, is it? I feel like.
Well, it's still young. They're like 10 and 11-year-olds.
People at this age still hit other people.
Hey, there's a 12-year-old in my class.
Oh.
Wow. Was he left back or something?
12. Shouldn't he be in 7th grade?
He might get held back again.
Wow.
Okay, so yeah.
All right, this took a weird turn. You know what? Let's get back to this film. So, this is actually my first time watching this film.
Yeah, I saw this.
I've heard about
back in the theater when it first came out. So I haven't seen this in a long time.
So I guess it's sort of like watching it with fresh eyes. But I'm sure you had kind of like a rudimentary, because you kind of said stuff that was going to happen. I mean, you didn't really spoil it, but
I remember events in the movie, but I don't remember like everything that happened.
You talked about him going insane with the groundhog.
With the groundhog.
I think Olive got a big kick out of, because she
She
kept asking when
was waiting
when
for
is
that
that
nonstop. Yeah.
Asking when it was going to happen. All right, I'm going to go around the table and get impressions. I'm going to start with you, Olive G. What did you think of the film?
I thought this movie was great.
Yeah, what'd you like about it?
I really hated the main character and how he just wanted to like go through people's underwear, like do a dirty dance.
I think he went through a spell where that was his goal.
Yeah, his modus operandi. Yeah. Okay. I mean,
but even
it wasn't
that
just that.
Luster,
it wasn't just about that. Yeah. But did you? Okay, so you hated Phil Connors, right?
Yeah, Phil Connors.
I hate him for that.
Okay.
By the end of the film, did you still hate him?
Honestly, he was okay, I guess. I mean,
do you feel like he learned a lesson, or do you feel like he changed? For good?
He learned. He became a better person at the end of the day, but I still can't forgive him for what he did.
All right, fair enough.
He committed suicide at several occasions, went through different people's underwear, and killed a groundhog one time.
He did kill the groundhog.
That was the most egregious of his acts.
He didn't do anything wrong.
Murder-suicide.
Like, he had no reason to do the groundhog like
Bro,
that.
also like all those dates.
That groundhog was completely innocent.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if you were in that position and you had reached a point where you think you're losing your mind and you want to just get out of the loop,
you'd try anything.
Wouldn't you try everything?
No, I don't like violence against animals.
But what if it's been like 1,000 years and you're still doing this?
I would never hurt an animal.
What about an ant?
Ants aren't cute.
So it has to be a cute animal.
What would you kill a moth?
No.
And,
Moths aren't
Moths
cute.
aren't cute. They're-
They are.
What?
Different people have different tastes.
Whose child are you?
Well, it's a little close up the moth, and it's so cute, little furry.
It's weird looking. It's not cute.
I
They are
think you're
furry.
thinking of that one moth that looks like a little poodle dog or whatever.
He's so cute.
The rest of them are just gross.
I won't kill
There's
them though.
there's a moth that looks like a poodle.
It's like this.
Some of them are like really fluffy.
Yeah, there's some
Really?
weird looking moth that looks like a little. Maybe not a poodle. It looks more like one of those little tiny fluff dogs.
Pomeranians?
Maybe a Pomeranian. You know, the ones where they cut the hair and make their heads look like like little round balls, and
What are you talking about?
the little fluffy dog, the ones that look like little teddy bears.
A poodle?
Like the neighbor's dog?
Like I could never like
Yeah, look at that picture.
if this was like a moth that I
Looks like a
had to
Pikachu,
kill.
like a.
Yeah, it looks
Like
like a
a-
Pokemon.
I would. I
It looks like
wouldn't-
a Pokemon. Yeah. What is
wouldn't-
that?
I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to kill it.
What is that?
It's a moth.
Oh, wow.
I thought all moths
But not
looked
all
like
moths look like that. They're especially the ones that are in here. They're just. It's like dust came to life.
I still won't hurt them.
All right, we're all over the
Yeah.
place today. All right, let's rein this back in. Groundhog Day. Did you have a favorite character, Olive G?
that.
Did you like Rita? Although she fell for Phil's charms, didn't she?
Well, she would always see through them. It wasn't until he became like a better person or a less selfish person that like she truly fell for his charms. Like he wasn't trying to get with her, I don't think.
I really hated Phil for, like going on all those dates with Rita.
Okay.
Such a little,
Filthy bastard.
yeah.
No, she slapped the hell out of him at the end of every
Literally
single
so
one of them.
deserved. She was so real for that.
Yeah, it was.
But then she still winds up with him, doesn't
Who
she?
cares? We could just choose to ignore that bit.
but like I said, by that point he was a different person.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I guess.
Did you have a favorite character, Olive G?
I guess Rita.
Rita.
Yeah.
All right, Gigi, what did you think of the film?
I've never watched a film with Bill Murray in it where I liked his character.
Why do you think that is? Are you like
I
Grandpa? Or
literally
you
have
just
no
like
idea.
hate?
Like
You have an
the
unnatural
actor-
hatred for Bill Murray.
the actor I have no problem with. It's just every single role I just cannot stand. I hated this guy. You all know how much I hated him and
Yes.
like Bob, whatever.
Oh, what about Bob?
I wanted that guy to die so bad. He should deserve to die.
That's so weird. He was annoying in Bob, but he was like annoying in a like help me kind of way.
He was annoying in
I
an
can't believe you
unforgivable
liked-
way.
You liked what's his name, Richard Dreyfuss,
Richard
more
Dreyfuss.
than Bob.
Which one was that?
He was
He
the
was the
psychiatrist.
psychiatrist.
Yeah, because honestly, I'd try to kill this guy too if he just started like encroaching on my life or however you say that.
Can I let you know that in real life, the guy who plays the psychiatrist is a jerk?
And I don't like the actor, but
Yeah.
I'm fine with the role. Well, literally, I didn't even like the role either. He was just less annoying to me than Bob. Like, I didn't like
there was
anyone
something
in that
charming
movie.
about Bob.
There was
no?
nothing charming about him. I literally hated him, and I wanted him to be
everyone else?
wite off the earth.
Bro, Bob.
Wow.
You
She
Bob
really
got
is your
the
kid.
charm to get out
you
of
know
the
what? We're not
insane
reviewing
asylum.
what about Bob,
Oh, okay.
so we're
Never
still
mind.
on Groundhog
Yeah,
Day.
like my
do you
We
feel?
cannot get it together
I know.
tonight.
Do you feel like his character sort of like grew though, and like
he wasn't static. He did undergo a character arc, but
All right.
I still don't like him.
by the end was he still the jerk?
He wasn't a jerk. I still just don't like him. Like, I respect the Riz, and that's it.
He raised her up.
Yeah. I mean, he got the girl, so
Yeah.
I still don't like him. And my favorite character was Rita solely for the fact that she slapped the crap out of him.
Multiple times.
Multiple times.
Yes.
Side note: rumor has it that Bill Murray is dating Khalees. I know that you don't give a crap about that.
Yeah, when you said Khalees, I was like the one from Game of Thrones.
No.
and I was like, no. I have no
Yeah,
idea. Who the
I
hell
have
you're
no
talking
idea
about.
who that is either.
Yeah, that song came out like decades ago.
I mean, it was definitely before Gene was born, right?
So, was she done?
She's had other stuff, but it's not been as big as that, so I don't think. What'd you think on watching this again after many, 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 many years?
I remember liking it more when I was a kid. Now I don't know. I feel like the pacing was a bit slow.
It did feel slow.
The jokes or the script, the dialogue, I don't know. There was like moments of
Hilarity. But
fun stuff, but it wasn't like, it didn't have like a very sharp script in my mind.
Yeah. This movie is 30 years old.
Really? Yeah, I mean it's okay. It totally sparked off that whole basic genre of I'm living the same day over and over again, which has been
aped to crap.
Aped quite a lot, yeah. But now it seems to be falling more into like the sort of like sci-fi horror sort of realm. Where
sure.
They play it more
like
for
Happy Death Day.
Yeah, they play it in a more serious fashion than they do for laughs.
Right.
But yeah, this was the originator. I mean, that's why they call it a Groundhog Day movie.
Right. I mean, I think it's even like an adjective for that now.
Yeah, they say, oh, it's Alien meets Groundhog Day.
Right.
Friday the 13th meets Groundhog Day.
Alien meets Groundhog Day would be an interesting mashup.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Great movie.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
So this is my first time watching this film. I don't know why I didn't watch it before. There must have been other stuff coming out in 93 that I was more into. So this one actually fell through my radar. I'd always heard about it. I'd meant to watch it. So now 30 years later, I'm catching it. And I kind of agree with what you just said about it being kind of slow. I mean, it wasn't a bad movie.
It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't boring. It was
Yes.
just the pacing was slow, and the writing wasn't sharp enough to make up for that slow pacing.
Yes, agreed.
You know, they could have like sped things up.
Removed some characters. I felt like there was like way too many.
I wasn't bothered.
I mean,
I
as
wasn't
much
bothered
as I
by
love
that.
Michael Shannon, did he need to be in that?
You know what? That didn't bother me because it filled out the whole thing of him helping everybody by the end of the movie, which makes sense when you consider that if you
Have lived this day
if you
1,000
live
times.
this like, I think somebody did some sort of like analysis of his life going through this day, and they say, oh, it was all told, it was several hundred years that he was doing this.
I thought that you said that about the tomorrow.
It could be about that as well, I guess.
Same thing. I mean, if you're doing something to the point where you're becoming a master at it,
Yeah.
and he became a master pianist, a master
Ice sculptor.
ice sculptor. He learned French.
Bro could fix cars.
He could fix cars. He was doing all sorts of stuff by the end of the movie, and these things, to do them to any degree of ability,
Yeah.
you got to practice every day. And he even says, like, throwing the cards into the hat 4 to 5 hours every day
6 months.
for 6 months, and you get to throw the cards into the hat all the time.
Interesting.
So that's what he did for 6 months.
Practice makes perfect.
Practicing. Yeah.
I think
that was
we've
just
mentioned that to the
throwing cards into
kids.
it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I saw it. It didn't wow me.
Like I said, it's sort of like the originator of this.
But I could,
kind
yes,
of
I could
story.
see where the influences come from. It was, I mean, there were parts of it where it was funny. There were parts of it where it was sort of cutesy. There are parts of it where it's silly. I think the ensemble cast does a really great job here. I don't think anyone is completely wasted. I felt like there might have been too many characters, but that's just me. The pacing is a little slow. I mean, maybe I'm just used to movie watching in the 2000s now.
I mean, yeah. Nowadays, they would have either snapped up the pacing or had what was going on be like just packed with funnier elements, like either just verbal dialogue between characters or sight gags or set pieces or things like that,
or some montage.
Sort of things. There really weren't any set pieces aside from the murder suicide of him and Bucks' Honey Phil. The rest of it was just, let's just film the same scene twice. Or 3 times even.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to go around the table and ask. I'm going to start with you, Gigi. If you could repeat a day, which day would it be and why?
This is too personal.
Oh, okay. Whoops. Never mind. I'll cut that out.
What about for me?
Yeah, the day I want to repeat is not something I'm going to tell for other people that could hear.
All right.
You could
I'll
ask
cut this
other
out.
people.
I'm going to ask you, G. If you could repeat a day, would you?
Yes.
Why?
So I could experience it again? Because...
Would you want to do it to experience it again, or would you want to improve on it?
I'd want to do it to experience it again because memories are nice, but there's nothing like experiencing it for the first time.
But
Fair
you wouldn't
enough.
be experiencing it for the first time. You'd
I
know
guess.
you'd just be living through it again.
Yeah, but it's still nice to live through things because my memory likes mixing things up.
All right, fair enough. What about you? If you could live a day again, would you? And why?
I would be the guy who would live the day just to fix it.
I think I would too.
Yeah, like About Time. If I had that power,
Yeah.
I'd be just fixing everything.
It would be neat to have that.
But you have to stay within the parameters of, because then you have other children, remember?
Yeah.
You could only go back 11 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's plenty of crap has gone wrong in the past 11 years.
Especially 2021, 2022.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Plenty of crap. Jesus.
I mean, not anything bad. It's just,
No, nothing horrific, but the flooding and
Yeah.
the fleas and the
Oh, my God.
and lice and good Lord,
it was like the end of the world. We were besieged by plagues.
I don't know.
That was a weird
everything
year.
was going wrong.
Yeah, that was a
everything
very strange
possible.
year.
The harpies were out in full force.
Yes. Olive G, if you could live a day again, would you and why? You don't have to tell me the day. That's for you. But if you could relive a day, either to fix it or to experience it again, would you? And why would you do it? Would you indeed fix it, or would you just want to relive it?
I mean, I probably want to do both. I like to relive some days, and I like to fix some days. You know.
But you only get to do one. So what's more important to you? To fix something or to just relive it?
I mean, reliving, sometimes it can get too boring, so maybe fix things.
All right, I didn't understand that answer.
You just basically said I want both again.
Yeah. You can't have both.
What are you, a politician?
Fixing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because reliving some things can get boring sometimes.
Oh, is that what you said? You gotta enunciate, girl.
Yeah.
Mumbles over here, just like Dad.
Whatever.
It's true.
All
All right, I'm gonna go around the table and get numbers. I'm gonna start with you. What'd you think? 1 to 10.
I'd give it a 7.
What would 1993 you have given it?
Probably an 8.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna tell me 9.
No, it wasn't. I liked it, but this wasn't ever one of my favorite movies. I mean, there's a reason why I haven't really seen it. Is because whenever it's on, I'm just like, oh, let's see what else is available. It's okay. It's good. But
Do you have an unnatural hatred for Bill Murray like your dad does?
No, I actually like Bill Murray. He's most of the stuff that I've seen him in, he's funny. He does play a jerk. He has a weird acting style, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like maybe he's not like in comedies. Sometimes it almost feels like he's like, I know I'm not really that great an actor, but I'm just gonna bravado my way through it and like make myself a larger than life character. That's usually a jerk.
I feel
But
like
a lot
that's
of time-
translated
a lot-
to his
a lot-
real persona.
A lot, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of like bros have made him into this sort of like godlike figure.
I was not going to
and
say there's an ethos.
Yeah, and I kind of think maybe it's getting to him.
Yeah. Well, I've
Who
also heard
knows?
from people that have worked with him that he's not the nicest person.
From what I heard about this movie, it ruined his relationship with
Harold Ramis.
Harold Ramis,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Who's Harold Ramis?
he's the director.
He's the director. He was also
He was
doctor.
Egon in Ghostbusters. Do you remember the?
He was the guy with the glasses, the really smart one with like the short kind of curly hair in the top.
And Ghostbusters Afterlife, he was the ghost grandpa.
Okay.
That guy.
And he was also the doctor in this, right?
He was the doctor.
I've never seen any of the original Ghostbuster movies.
We should watch that. We should do a whole 80s rewind with the children.
I've watched like the 2016 one. I think that's when it came out. And Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah, no, we
Which
should watch the
feels
originals.
just-
We should do like
I watched
original.
the original already. It's
We should
okay.
do original Ghostbusters,
the
original
film
Karate Kid. You love that movie. Don't look at me like that.
I wouldn't mind watching the original Karate Kid because from what I've read and listened to people analyzing it, they usually, a lot of them come to the conclusion that Ralph Macchio's character was actually the bad guy in the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, but a lot of people were like Johnny or Tommy or whatever the bad guy's name was in the movie, that he had every right to want to beat the crap out of Ralph Macchio's character. And I'm curious
don't
because
feel like
I'm
that was
curious
the
because I
filmmaker's
don't
intent.
I don't think it was either, and if it was, they clearly failed. But like I said, that's another film I have not watched since I saw it when I was a child. So I
I
would
had the
like.
45 for that.
I'm sure you do, and I'm sure
did.
if I saw it now, I would like to see if I could come to that conclusion too.
Okay.
But we'll see. I don't
Yeah.
know. Nostalgia blinds you.
Okay, so 7 G, 1 to 10.
4.
Olive G, 1 to 10. What are you gonna give this film?
An 8.
An 8.
Really?
Yeah, I like those movie.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
Well, actually not. 7.5.
6. Well, no. What'd you say?
7.5.
7.5. So, okay, so 6, 7, 7.5, and a
4.
4.
Don't watch this movie.
All right. I mean, I guess for nostalgia you can, but I guess if you're a younger viewer, this is probably not for you. So
Yeah, I don't think it's made for teenagers now.
yeah,
It's too slow. It's too tame. The dialogue isn't sharp.
yeah, it's not naughty enough.
There's nothing. I mean, it's PG.
Yeah,
What was it? What was the warning? Thematic elements.
yeah, whatever that
Yeah,
means.
that's literally.
Yeah.
I didn't like
I'm
it.
surprised that it didn't say smoking or something like that.
Yes, or drinking.
Yeah, don't they usually put that there?
Yeah, I feel like some streamers are
That's
super
weird.
sensitive.
Some hypersensitive person is sleeping at the wheel and didn't put the smoking warning on there.
Whoops.
Yeah,
All right,
maybe they got
so-
someone with common sense. To
So again, this is available to stream on AMC Plus and Netflix. Also buy rent on Prime, and also to purchase on just regular Amazon as a Blu-ray or DVD if you feel like
I
it.
mean, that's how it is for now. Whenever you're listening to this, it could probably completely different.
Oh yes, of course.
We in the future we probably should start just like saying just whatever platform you could find it on, because the way these things are going, it's like AMC will have it for a month and Max will have it for a year, and then
Yeah.
Disney Plus will have it for some reason.
Well, it seems like Apple TV has gotten a lot of stuff.
yeah, and
I'm so mad because a lot of Donald Gleason stuff is on Apple TV. I'm like, I'm not paying for another streamer. That's just hogwash.
Well, just wait 6 months. It'll probably
Go somewhere else.
be on Roku or something next. Who knows?
What is... No, don't explain it to me. All right, that's it from us, and we will bid everyone a
Good night.
Good night.
good night.